Hi, I'm Joe Hadzicki, inventor of the Revolution, and one of the biggest problems for kite flyers around the world is light wind and unsteady wind. The Revolution Reflex and the Reflex skills solve this problem. The more I push the boundaries, the more amazing the Reflex becomes. It's a little bit like being an airline pilot, where you're responsible for the takeoff and the landing. But in light winds, everything in between is taken care of by the Reflex autopilot. But what I find really amazing is that the Reflex allows Rev pilots of all skill levels to fly in nearly impossible conditions. I'd like to introduce you to one of my good friends, Chris. He's also a Club 38 member. Hey Chris, what's up?
Hey Joe, how you doing?
Tell us a little bit about your flying.
Well, I'm an old school Rev flyer and I'm Club 38 level 4.
Level 4 is right up there, level 4, level 5.
Thanks. And I thought I'd give that Reflex a try, see what it does.
All right, let's see how it goes.
All right, thank you.
Float is perfect, Chris. Okay, so for the autopilot, to get the autopilot to kick in, we got to fly it up overhead and then float it off to the side, and then let's just see where it floats. Awesome, Chris. Overhead, you went into the float, and then you freaking caught the thing. So how'd that compare to your standard Rev experience?
Well, when it was directly overhead, it felt a little uncomfortable because I thought it was going to stall.
Yeah, exactly. It drops out when it gets there. So I saw that when you were flying. You were kind of cautious there.
But that Reflex just makes it float like a feather. It just, so upward lift. And, and at that point, I knew I could catch it, so I chased it and ended up catching it. So it's incredible.
Nice job.
Thanks.
If you're starting with the basic Reflex skills, your first challenge is going to be the transition between kite flight, where the wind is blowing directly into your sail, to an overhead float or autopilot mode, where your Rev is basically flying like the wing of an airplane. If the winds are blowing more than 2 or 3 miles an hour, this transition to this overhead flight is much easier with one of the vented spider models, for example, a Reflex XX Tarantula, or maybe the Super Tarantula. Another option for that overhead flight is, instead of flying directly over the top, you can actually come in slightly from the side. This will allow you to get further upwind. Remember, upwind flying is critical if you want your Rev to come past you. So for example, in the catch and throw, if you are not far enough upwind, you pull, your Rev will simply turn and fly downwind. You need to get further upwind, so when you pull it, it'll come in and you can make that catch. For another skill, the Reflex 360, you need to fly further upwind, because remember, your Rev needs to fly all the way around you as you circle around to complete the 360. Here are some of the basic Reflex skills. The reflex toss and crosswind toss are two other reflex skills that are fun to explore. Let's kick those reflex skills and light winds up a notch. If you have any questions, leave us a message. We'll get back to you, and we'll see you on the field.